The days are longer, the calendar is filling up, and I want to feel as good as this beautiful summer weather. That's why I've been loving Groons. It's one daily pack of gummies that covers my greens, vitamins, and minerals, and even has 6 grams of prebiotic fiber. So I don't need to juggle a complicated wellness routine on top of everything else. They taste amazing. They're easy to toss in my bag on the go. Plus, they're vegan, gluten-free, and HSA, FSA eligible for reimbursement. Save up to 52% off with promo code podcast at gruns.co. That's code podcast at gruns.co.
Hey everybody, welcome, and thank you for listening to this episode of Marriage Therapy Radio. My name is Zach Brittle. I'm so excited to bring you this episode. About a year ago, maybe, I think we had my mom and dad on. They're doing well. Going to hang out with them over Thanksgiving. But this episode also keeping it in the family. I've got my cousin, Kara, her wife, Stacy. It's actually Rebecca's cousin. And we talk about our family. We talk about what it's like for them as a couple to be raising 2 neurodivergent kids. We talk about generational trauma, what that's about and how it trickles down and what's to be done about it. I love these 2. They're so fun to be around when we go on vacation, which you'll hear about a couple of times. We always enjoy rich conversation and a lot of play and laughter and fun. I think you'll enjoy them. I'm just really grateful to be able to connect with them in this way. They were dying to be on the podcast, or that's the rumor I heard anyway. Kara and Stacy, this is a very cool conversation. Stick around. For the record, everybody, this is Kara and Stacy. Kara is my favorite cousin. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that on the
No, but
podcast.
Everyone else should be able to hear that. Yes.
Your mom and my wife's mom are sisters.
That is correct.
Yeah, but you lost your mom. What was that, about 2 years ago?
Yeah, we can't really keep track, but we think it's almost 4.
Jeez, that's
I know.
a lot.
It is.
So that makes you and my wife first cousins. That makes Stacy and I, cousins-in-law or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
and you guys have been in the family for so long that you might have been longer than people have been born in this family.
Well, I sure have. I mean, I've been here 30-something years. We were hanging out with Charlie and Miles the other day, and I was telling Charlie how I used to carry his dad around on my shoulders. He was like, what? That 42-year-old man or whatever used to ride on your shoulders? And I was like, yeah, totally. So Charlie's not quite as old as Jack was when I met Jack, but getting close. It's kind of wild.
It is very scary. Stacy's 26 years in this family.
Right on.
So she's on time. But Zach, I don't know that we've ever actually shared this with you, but when you came to Ocean City, yes, you do know this. When you came to Ocean City the year, we would put Abby and Jake on the Lazy Susie.
Yeah.
And we thought the backpack thing that you had for Abby was so cool. And I remember very specifically, we had a whole conversation about parenting after watching you rationalize and explain to Abby, even though she was so young, and we banked it, and we're like, we're gonna do that when we become parents.
You mean I was a good parent to Abby? I was a good dad to Abby?
You were actually a very good communicator, believe it or not. She might not think so,
but in those
time periods, we noted it. Mm-hmm.
You can do a lot of damage in 23 years between when they're infants and they don't have anything to say back to you and they're just like sponges, and then when they become humans and have opinions and stuff. So I don't know. That's kind. Thank you for telling me.
To be in counseling when they're younger. I mean, I'm bound to screw it up. So
yeah. I'm excited about grandkids. I'm excited about grandkids for this reason. I'm like, wait, you can just love them up and give them all this attention and not do any, not create their childhood trauma and then just send them away, and then they're not mad at you forever. I'm excited about that part. So
and not
both of my kids are, right. It's kind of like I did with Charlie and Miles. I was like, you guys want some candy? And Libby's like, what? No, I'm like, I got you. I'm ready to ask you the main question that I have for the podcast today. Are you ready?
We are ready. Are you ready?
What's the most controversial thing you're willing to say about your family on this podcast? 8 billion people are going to listen to it. And I mean, when I say your family, I mean the Robinson clan.
Oh, I am actually very comfortable talking about all aspects of my the Robinson side of the family, and so much so that I think the most controversial topic I recently just discussed with Rylan.
Right on.
Mhm.
All right, so let's talk. Let's orient the characters real quick. So Rylan is Wyatt, and how old is Wyatt?
Wyatt?
Yeah, that's his,
Yeah.
that's his nickname for her.
Okay. Wyatt is
11.
11 going on 40 since she was 2. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, Rebecca sent me a picture from the hibachi restaurant. The first thing I said was, Wyatt!
Yeah. She
All right,
she's a lot of joy.
Was
She's
she
a
in the
lot of
play?
joy.
It was her play?
No,
was Avery's
but
play.
her friends came to sit with her to watch the play.
Right on. All right, Rylan is 11, going on 42.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Avery, and he's
13.
13. Gonna be 14 in November.
Going on.
Yeah.
13.
Oh, about 13.
13 going on 13.
Intellectually, he probably surpasses us all. Social, emotionally, he's right where he needs to be.
Yeah, right on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So,
with your 11-year-old daughter, you were about to tell me the most controversial thing that you were talking about with her.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to preface this by saying, before coming on to this, I thought about all of the different touch points that Stacy and I have as a couple and parent that are very unique and not so unique simultaneously, but intersect with like our professional identities, right? So for Rylan, this came as a result of Rylan seeing your wife. And so we had a whole conversation about our family and our kids.
Is the controversial thing about to be about my wife? Because we have to leave that out.
It actually has nothing to do with your immediate side of the family.
All right, good.
But you ask, when I think about like all the controversial things, I'm going to name some things because none of them are off the table, and then I'll get to the most right? So we have lots of things, right? From that a lot of families and couples face, right? From alcoholism to narcissism to using money as control. But this stemmed around every time that Rylan is around her aunts, my mom's sisters, she always has questions. And part of the questions is like, well, why do we see them and we go there and all of that? So I answered, our most controversial is that we have not a formally charged pedophile in the family that caused a spew of lots of other aspects. And so I do think it's like it's
like a trickle down.
Yeah.
I was thinking about my own answer to the same question, and we don't need to get into it because it's kind of not fair to pick on people when they're not present. But this idea that generational trauma is real, like it flows down the mountain, and this particular family, which is, you and I and Stacy maybe too, we hear all these stories all the time about generational trauma, and maybe on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like a 7 or an 8 or something. Maybe it's somebody's 10 or somebody else's 4. But it doesn't matter. Like the impact is real, and people are constantly trying to figure out how to navigate stopping it or correcting it. And it sounds like one of the ways you do that, or the two of you do that, is by being transparent and honest with your kids.
Yeah. And I would also add that to Stacy's family too. Stacy has a lot of generational
we're just
trauma.
Sticking with Robinson.
No, but you have honest conversations with Rylan about the generational trauma from your part of the family too.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's a wild scene. Well, I'm delighted to learn from you guys. Tell me what you want us to know. What should we know? What do Kara and Stacy, what have you guys figured out that the world should hear about?
That we
Again,
don't know.
8 billion people are going to listen to this. Maybe that's the main thing.
We don't know a lot. And I think as an LGBT couple with neurodiverse children whose entire profession is centered around education and mental health, I think what we have not learned is, or not have had an opportunity, is to separate our personal and professional lives because we
Mm-hmm.
need the knowledge from our professional lives.
You don't get to clock out.
We don't.
You don't get to
It's
go
a
make
never.
widgets and come home and then be a parent. Yeah, you have to.
No. I joke when I do introductions and talks and stuff that our love language is accommodations.
Is our love language is what?
Accommodations.
Accommodations.
What type of support?
Yeah, what type of support? Yeah. Uh-huh.
Provide mostly Avery.
Yeah, but whether we're traveling or it's for school or we're prepping for something else, I feel like the off switch was one that we have, I would say, not figured out, but understand that we have to seek out other things to not be on all the time in those moments.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you do? What do you seek out?
Yeah. So the fun fact is there was a time period where I would leave the house all the time and find that outside of the house because I needed to remove myself from the scenario in order to not be on. And now we're in a scenario where everything I want to do is here, and Stacy is which is good for her, is now leaving to do things for herself. So we have a great shift in this moment right now. And then for us together,
Stacey, what is your face saying?
Yeah. She didn't know where I was going.
Well, and it's because I play pickleball. That's where I go. I don't know.
Yeah, it is.
It's not an escape. It's where I go to play pickleball.
And so exercise and socialize.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mostly exercise.
Yeah.
Not talk too much. But giggle and
then I get the stories. She comes home and tells me her stories.
No, I'm not allowed. Pickleball stays at pickleball.
What happens at pickleball stays at pickleball? I interviewed a couple. I
don't think Kara wants to know about pickleball.
No, I do want to know about pickleball. Stacy, so you don't necessarily know this, Zach, but you do know how good of a player Stacy is in general.
I do know, yes.
And so as she's evolved in pickleball, she's been kicked out of leagues for being too good and has had to find alternate play. And so she does drive some ways to fill that need. And so much so that she's working towards entering the professional circuit on the 50-year-old circuit.
Oh, yeah? That's pretty exciting. Do you know, do the two of you know that?
Yes, I got sent the book.
No, the book. I sent you the book or whatever. No, but that last time we were in Ocean City, I think it was the last time we were in Ocean City, and there was a tennis match. Do you remember this tennis match?
I do. I have pictures of it. Libby was there. I have a picture.
Do you know it was the cause of a very significant months-long rift between some people in her family?
No?
I am one of them. Yeah. And it took a minute, like about 2 months to come back from the damage that was done from that tennis match. But I'll have to tell you that another time.
Yeah, so Stacy called
So Libby was there.
Yeah.
And Stacy was there. And Mary was there.
Mary.
There was
yep.
There
was, yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. Stacy's amazing that she could leave it all on the court.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I haven't played tennis in when we
maybe since then. Yeah.
Since then, actually.
Yeah, but before that, I didn't even play.
Yeah.
You played a lot of tennis that day. You played a lot of tennis that day, vis-a-vis your partner who did not play very much tennis that day.
Was it Kaylee? I don't know who I played. It was Mary. It was Mary.
Mary played with Libby.
Yeah, so who did I play? I played with Rebecca. Did I play with Emily? I have no idea.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, totally. See, I forgot that too. And I was watching the whole time.
Yeah. No, it's wild, man. What's cool about being in a family for 30 years is you ebb and flow and you come and go and you learn and you don't and whatever. So, and then you collect all these stories that become like legends in the family. And so it's pretty fun. I didn't even know that that was part of a legend with Abby in the backpack, but whatever. But we were in the middle of you were telling me maybe what your face was saying. What was your face saying? You didn't know where she was headed?
Yeah, no, it was about pickleball.
She thinks I don't like it. She thinks it's a point of contention in our family.
Mm-hmm. Well,
or
okay.
Our relationship, not our family.
Is it?
No, the drastic shift, this is what I was explaining about the professional thing, is Stacy studies tape.
Okay. Oh.
So if we are
On
sitting and watching TV, she is on the phone watching pickleball and getting strategy.
Watching real people play pickleball. You're not like studying opponents coming up or something. You're like watching. There's a whole channel. There's like a whole pickleball channel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I watch tips and then I watch myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then I get myself analyzed by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read about it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Kara's trying to say I'm not present.
Yes.
Do we need to have that conversation?
No, we've had this conversation. I mean, we could have this conversation with everyone else, but we've also had this conversation. The positive aspect is like, Stacy also didn't have a hobby for a long time. There was no outlet from our kids. So this is amazing, both physically and emotionally. And Stacy is one who likes to react with no thought. Like she doesn't want to think. And pickleball actually allows her not to think. So I think these are all good things. But Stacy is also goal driven. Whereas like for me and my ADHD, it doesn't matter if I have a checklist. If I feel like it, if I'm in the energy to do it, I can do it. But Stacy's like clockwork. She could just keep moving. And pickleball does that for her. And so she's goal oriented right now. And so if she has a goal, she's going to meet it and she's going to get there. And so right now it takes a lot of her attention. But at the same time, like Stacy mentioned this, her favorite thing to do in a perfect day is to have a drink and go to comedy. And so we did just do that. So a lot of our dates, like we know how to mend that particular piece. And we do have these conversations. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You have your own independent lives, and then you have the one that you bring together, maybe through comedy. Who do you like? Who are your comedians? Who's your go-tos? Or what kind of comedy do you like?
You go first. You have your own.
Oh, I like clean comedy. I don't like any crude people. I don't want to hear too much intimate things about them. I like just good, happy. We just saw Marcella.
So you like
Hernandez.
Nate Bargatze more than you like Nikki Glaser, for example?
I'm okay with her.
She's okay with her. She, to me, when she's in the Kevin Hart and the roasting and that kind of stuff, then she crosses that line. But she could also,
I could roast. I just, I guess I just don't want to hear sexually about anybody.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing that she does. She kind of made her bread and butter on that for a while, where she was talking about how loose she was. But then I think she's kind of come more mainstream and has had to like dial it in a little bit and be more crowd friendly. But anyway, we can discuss.
But we did just see Marcelo Hernandez.
I mean, I like.
I don't know who that is.
He's Saturday Night Live. He's kind of the new relevant comedian, and he's only like 20 years old.
He's 20.
Right on.
He's on SNL, and he just had him and Kevin Hart just came out with a movie on Netflix too. And that was actually really fun to watch because they're all comedians, because he's the old guard and they're the new guard. So there's a lot of like generational play on it. Who else did you say you liked?
I like Wanda Sykes.
Yeah.
I like old school.
Yeah. She's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I would love for you to tell us about things that people maybe don't know about. Tell us about what, I don't want to pigeonhole you guys, but it's clear that you're lesbians. Like, what should we know about an LGBTQ relationship that maybe isn't obvious? Should we know that it's kind of the same, or is there something specific or different that is important? And then you mentioned that you have neurodiverse kids, which of course I know, but like, what's that like? So we're just shooting the breeze here, but what do you want us to know that maybe we don't know about, or that is interesting or unique about the two of you? Also, here's an obvious one, right? Kara, you're kind of a lot, right? Like you can come out and you have a lot to say and you run the show, and Stacy, you're much more willing to sort of wallflower it a bit. How does that work? Is that okay? Or
I love it.
Tell them
what?
So everyone believes this because I am a lot. I'm comfortable in my own skin. I talk. And they think Stacy plays this like meek person who doesn't talk all the time or whatever the case. She used to do this to my mother too.
I only have enough energy to talk a little.
We just have to pick the right fight.
No, not even a fight.
We don't fight like that. Yeah.
Just have enough energy just to, I don't even know. But I mean, we're 50-50.
So we'll give you the plus aspect to the
But she can,
two women.
if she wants to talk, go ahead.
The one thing that, so here's a prime example. So Rylan has really good friends. We're friends with their parents. And so I had the moms over for like a night out on Friday night. And
Rylan's friends have two moms also?
No, Rylan,
so now we're 4 months.
Rylan's 3 friends' moms were here.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Okay.
Yes, we are the only lesbian couple of that group.
Okay.
And, and the same thing when you talk to people at work, like they get to these places and spaces and talk about their mental load, right? Or issues they have with their husbands that they wish they carried more, or this, that, and the other. And my motto is always like, well, that's why everyone should have a wife. Period. It's like the joke, but in a lot of ways, Stacy and I do share a lot of things that we watch other women and particularly moms have to navigate. So that's the plus. On the downside, we've never really had anything traumatic or negative as a result of our relationship. But, just like there's ableism and any other ism, we've had to navigate school with our children and no, you're not going to donuts with dad. Like it's just not happening kind of deal. And those things still tend to like come up. But I would say even our kids were like glorified when they were younger because all the younger kids wanted to have another mom. Mom was their safe person. So we've been very fortunate. I would say.
Well, we picked a town where we could be happy and not ostracized, or that we could be included. So, I mean, deciding where you live, deciding what schools your kids go to, that's something you have to think about more.
Actually, the state we live in was huge for us too. Before it really needed to be even bigger than what it was right now. Well,
because were you in Florida together?
Yeah.
Yes. And we got out of there.
And we got out. Stacy chose New Jersey. Of all the places we had options at the time, Stacy chose here because also at the time they had common law. This is before it was legalized marriage.
Common law, then, what was that called?
Yeah, I can't think of what it actually is called.
Civil union.
Civil union. That's it.
Then it became marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you did that. You're married.
Yes.
Twice.
Well, we did civil union.
Yeah, we did the civil union, but that wasn't good enough. So when they legalized it, they wanted your money.
Yeah.
So then we had to pay all over again.
It was a year later.
Did I come to that? Was I invited to that? Or did we do
You
that?
went to the Hawaiian luau, the original one.
I did? I was probably drunk because that was a long time ago.
I'm pretty confident you probably had a coconut bra on. I mean, I'm sure, but I don't know.
I believe you. I believe you.
I have visions of Jack personally, so...
That's amazing. That feels like a lot of these stories, right, feel like a lifetime ago for me and for us. And it's wild too. I forget how young your kids are because I've been in this transition with like trying to graduate kids into adulthood and turn them into people, right? Like the thought of I have fond memories of us at the beach or whatever with them as babies and whatnot, but I can almost not even remember what it's like to try and parent infants, much less toddlers, much less, regular kids like Charlie and Miles. And then, these teenagers, I'm still like, oh, how do I actually just debate, current events with people who have strong feelings about them,
Yes. I can't really, time is lost on me, number one, in a post-COVID world. I think prior to COVID,
well,
I had
that's the other, yes,
together.
Of course, right? With this giant 2-year gap in our developmental process. Okay, sorry, I forgot about COVID too.
So we also, in addition to having neurodiverse kids, had kids in the wrong time period developmentally for COVID, I think was also it. So we were already navigating a lot of challenges pre-COVID. The fallout from COVID is probably what I would consider my kids' generational trauma in some ways.
Yeah.
And it's the grief and loss, really.
Yeah, yeah. You each carried one of your children.
I had to wait to see if Avery was cute. And he wasn't cute until 3 months old.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, we'll have another one. And and they have the same donor, the same paternal donor. Right on. Okay. And how'd you make that decision?
That was weird.
It did not come to the decision that we had originally made. So I think I've always wanted kids. I always wanted 2 kids. And so early on in our relationship, I was going to have both kids.
Mm-hmm.
And then
go ahead.
And then she said, yeah, sure. Great. I'll bleed along for the ride.
No problem.
And then 2 things happened simultaneously. One, I was in the hospital for a month after Avery. So Avery went home and I stayed in the hospital.
That didn't affect me.
And that did not.
Decision.
But at the exact same time, Stacy's sister had their first child. And just to backtrack, Stacy, remember, isn't a science inclusion teacher. So she also was like, oh, genetic experiment in a way, kind of too. And so then she decided after her sister had a kid, I think I can do that. And then that's how that went down. And I was like, I will gladly let you have the second kid.
I'm good.
Oh, I stepped right into it.
What did you just tell us? They're 3 years apart. Is that what you just said?
2.5.
They're 2.5 to the day.
Yeah. The day?
To the day. Same as my sister and I, believe it or not.
To the day.
Right on. Do you want to give Kendra a shout out? What should we know about Kendra, you and your sister? Anything? She's going to listen. She's going to want to know what
my sister. Yeah. So here's the thing. My sister and I have had the exact same relationship since she was probably 18. I think prior to that was a little rocky, Yeah. That's what happens when you grow up and
she's older
and pull each other's hair and all that. But I mean, I have literally talked to my sister probably at least once a day for my entire life.
Kendra's very giving.
She is I would say Kendra's the most understood person in our family.
Misunderstood?
Yeah.
Misunderstood.
Yeah, she's and particularly her immediate family. But Kendra,
why do you say that?
Well, don't think that this isn't going to be our lives either, but Kendra is one of the 4 kids. Come on, all within like a year apart of each other.
Yeah. So, I feel like she was just pregnant for like 10 years straight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And she has literally supported those kids, her husband, then went back to work and still, as young adults, provides a lot for them that I think is taken for granted and assumed in a lot of ways. And so they're not that nice to her.
Yeah.
But also our child's not that nice to us for different reasons too. So,
But when you say misunderstood, you mean misunderstood by her own kids?
Yes.
By her own family? Huh.
Yeah. I also think this is generational and, as each generation it changes too, but they have the story that they have in their mind.
Yeah.
And breaking a story.
Yeah. Do you know who loves Kendra and Jay? Jansen.
Really?
Yeah, he's crazy about them. He thinks they're like the best.
Oh, because they've been in the city. Well, I think they've been the best.
Yeah.
That's family right there. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, right on. Cool. Who else should we touch? Should we talk about? We've covered maybe everybody's gotten name dropped so far. But now I want to go back to this other thing you said. Why don't you 2 fight?
Yeah, do you know that this is a very contention with some of my friends who cannot understand that we do not fight. And I wouldn't say that
we disagree.
We totally disagree. And I think that we have I think we have communication skills. So communication skills are going to be transparent and you're going to talk about it. And even if it's one of those things where we won't talk about it right now in this moment because for whatever reason, it doesn't mean that it ever goes past the day either. But we're a team. And so I've said this to someone recently, I've always seen Stacy, and I believe this about whoever your partner is your best friend.
Okay.
And so there is no reason why I don't want to communicate all of my thoughts and feelings to my best friend or sharing the joy with my best friend. And I don't want to avoid my best friend, right?
Yeah. Okay.
In a lot of ways. And so I don't know that we had 2 larger discussions that I can think of in the last 26 years. But one of them I did hang up on her. And it wasn't a true fight, but we were going away with the friends and she wanted to drive in a car behind us with the dog because she didn't want to board the dog. And I was like, no. When you hear the tone, this is her line that she taught me. I was like, when you hear the tone, you're on your own. This is very unreasonable. And that I consider like one of our fights.
When you hear the tone, you're on your own. What does that mean?
When you hang up, you're on your own.
The dial tone.
Basically giving you the warning. I know.
Not like
we don't have the tone anymore.
Okay. All right. Kendra and Jay fight, or do they bicker?
I would say they've gotten better through the years, but I think that that's the undoing part of that story.
But they like to just express themselves outwardly.
Yeah, I think they bicker. I think they're
different communicators. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say anything I regret because, words hurt. So it's best not to say anything when you're in the moment because those, angry feelings will subside. And then what you say, that could be remembered forever.
You want to tell Zach your first Thanksgiving with our family?
Oh, no.
Yes. Absolutely, yes. You do want to tell Zach about your first Thanksgiving with the family.
Now, all right. So, Kendra and Jay, they have 4 kids, and
they did not have 4 kids at that time period.
They felt like 12.
They had 1. Uh-huh.
You sure?
Yeah, I think Jake.
There was a lot of kids and a lot of needs from those kids. I'm hungry. I'm tired. Whatever kids say. And Jay, I think he was mad at somebody. Name a kid. He's probably mad at him. But only focused
None of the kids were talking, and Jake was the only one bored. So she's giving a lot of grace right now.
He was mad at some kid wanting something. They never stop. Uh-huh. And he was just mad at the kid, and then he threw a remote control. But it did ricochet off a few things and kind of got in my vicinity. But he code switched, and he was right out of the anger and was like, "Oh no, are you okay?" So I thought it was amusing. I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm fine. How are you?" But I understand being mad at your kid. Trust.
But also,
they can get you furious.
Stacy also grew up with people who were a yeller, I guess I would say, or a hot temper. So she didn't flinch, but I was cringing watching the remote go right here. And Jay, when he's pissed, he could fling something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't bother me.
Yeah. That was her first meeting of everyone.
Oh, God. Good grief.
Uh-huh.
My first meeting, do you know what my first meeting of Stacy was?
Where, at Ocean City?
No, Judy's?
This is the story I have, and I don't know if this is the truest story or not, but you, Kara, were at my house with your sister and your mom in the tiny, tiny, tiny house.
In Norwalk?
Nope, in Seattle. You were visiting, and I don't think you were out yet, but I think you were on the phone with Stacy, and you were so happy and so filled with just joy and glee. I was like, Kara loves that. Whoever that is, Kara loves that lady. Was that Stacy that you were on the phone with?
Probably somebody else.
It was. I actually, I'm going to let you continue on, but that actually is, we have a story based on that story.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was like, and I told Rebecca, I was like, Kara's gay. And she was like, no. And I was like, yeah. I was like, you if you watch that phone call just now,
you weren't out by then?
Yeah, you guys didn't meet Steph at Judy's?
We met her, but you weren't owning that.
No, we didn't.
In a really explicit way.
No, I wasn't.
And I don't think it was a secret. I don't think anybody was like, what? Mm-hmm. Kara's gay. That wasn't like that. It was just more like it was not yet a thing. It wasn't yet your identity. And then
you're right.
Anyway, so I was excited to meet this lady that turned you into a puddle. That was pretty fun.
That trip was actually very significant for us. So here's what you don't know. Stacy and I were together for 6 months. Mm-hmm. She was graduating and leaving
college.
So we broke up, essentially.
We didn't.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote.
Kara thinks we did.
So that day I got on a plane to go to Seattle, and she got on the auto train to go to Florida.
That's not.
And then Kendra, my mom, and I came out to Seattle, and on my way there, I wrote a 13-page letter that I then ended up sending her, and then we ended up when I came back from Seattle, getting back together.
That's the beginning.
There was no breaking up. You were going on vacation. I was happening to go to Florida, and then
See, the stories we tell ourselves.
There was
totally.
I swear.
The story I tell myself is that I am responsible for the two of you having the green light because I endorsed it emotionally before anyone else was none the wiser. During that trip, we went and saw, this is a fun piece of trivia from that trip that you probably don't know. We went to a movie. Do you remember what movie we saw?
No, I still remember being seasick from the whales.
Yeah, we went and saw Pearl Harbor in the theater.
Oh, yeah.
The theater was packed, and I was against the wall inside of like 15 or 20 people. And after that movie, I had to go to the bathroom so bad, and I peed longer than I have ever peed in my entire life at that time. So that's a story for me from that trip. I have a few
With
others.
Tom Hanks. Nice.
No, he's not in that movie. That's like Ben Affleck.
But he has that scene in
A League
of Their Own. Where he pees and it just keeps going and going.
Of course you guys know A League of Their Own.
Did
Talk
you
to me
see your mother-in-law? She had a whole library of taped movies on me.
I'm hoping that we can. I accidentally mentioned her once already, so
He's referring to the part.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, I did play softball.
Yeah, I know. Do you know I'm obsessed with you've learned that I'm obsessed with softball now, yeah? Yeah. I just, Emily gave me a Husky softball t-shirt. Emily and John and the whole family gave me a Husky softball t-shirt. It's my favorite t-shirt. I love it. We're like totally into it. I want to go back to something real though. Talk to us about how does raising neurodivergent kids, like what philosophy or theory have you formed, or what's the thing that we would want to know or should know about that? Like, what have you learned that maybe I have never learned?
Genetics does not play a part of how your child turns out.
Okay.
I don't know who,
because the two of you two are both like hyper
I
mainstream
don't
or
know.
like hyper.
No, it's just Rylan is the opposite of me. I don't know where. I thought I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have someone cool like me, right? No, complete opposite. But she's still cool.
Rylan is okay. I was about to say, did you just say Rylan is not cool? But Rylan is cool.
No, Rylan is pure joy.
Yeah, she's cool. She's cool. But genetically, she didn't get it from me. But everything you think of your kid, it's gonna turn out the opposite of whatever you think. But which is beautiful in a way. I don't know. You just never, you know, when you imagine your kid, you're like, oh, this kid's going to be this, that. But the kid is nothing like that. And then you have to embrace it.
Yeah.
So I would say that's the hardest part for me.
That was the beauty of it.
No. So here's the difference, right? I always grew up knowing I wanted 2 kids, and I had a vision or a philosophy of what I wanted that to be like for me as a parent.
And they get thrown out.
And so no one has time for your own generational trauma because you have to keep moving for what's happening in front of you. And then the second part of it is that there is a lot of grief and loss that is self-imposed, right? And so part of it was like the expectations that I thought I would be as a parent, I can't be because that is not who my child is, right? So
right on.
We're going to adjust to that. And there was a moment a couple of years ago, where I was like driving to work and I was crying, and I was like, it was out of nowhere, but it was still this like continuation of grief and loss in the sense of like, you know, we've worked really hard at providing the right supports for our kids for who they are.
Accommodations, your love language.
Yeah. And also, our child will never know or appreciate or ever think about it ever, right? And so as a thoughtful, emotional person, right, that is kind of like, it's one example of many. But, and then there are also things that we've been able to do that we wouldn't be able to do, right? But I would say, I feel like I have been in a process of grief and loss once I got rid of my own self-imposed expectations. And then the second part of it is COVID really hurt our oldest, and really set us back a lot. And I'm still grieving that in a lot of ways while celebrating who he is. Mm-hmm.
That's such an intriguing perspective. Like, I think it's so easy to say something like, yeah, I had these kids and I had this vision for what these kids were going to be. And those kids aren't the thing that I thought they were going to be. Like, I get that. I can actually kind of, like, I have some twisted expectations of my own, but I don't think I've ever grappled with, I didn't get to be the parent that I pre-predicted myself to be because I was dealt this hand of cards that is playable and maybe even delightful, but just not consistent with what I thought I was going to be doing. Like, I don't think I've ever thought about it in that way before. And that comes with a certain amount of loss, even of a thing you never had. Like, all you had was an imagination, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So I would do say that it is self-imposed, probably societal imposed also in a lot of ways. But at the same time, it's what I thought. And then I think the hardest part is that as we engage with other people or kids or the same age or this, that, and the other, and I know enough to like not compare, but we also know how in certain aspects are easier for parents than it is for us. Like my cortisol levels have never gone down. It's been stuck in survival mode for
simple
ever.
Things like kids eating, kids sleeping, kids. What else do they do?
Actually, you raised a good point.
I mean, to your point about love languages and accommodations. I mean, you had a trampoline in your living room.
Still do. And now it has 4,000. Well, it had 4,000 balls in it. I don't know, what do you call them?
Like a ball pit. It's like a
yes.
Yeah.
We still have the swing though.
We have an A-frame.
So if there are any engineers who are listening, I really need the big round swing to be like how the baby swings used to be.
Tether
or to the ceiling. I need someone to invite something so that he will probably continue to do this for his life because this is how he regulates.
Yeah, we have
he's so good at it.
We have an A-frame swing in front of the fireplace. We even had one. And it's so loud and squeaky. So we need something from the ceiling that like you press a button and it pops down and then you press a button and it goes back up.
I am confident that some engineer is listening to this and I'm going to get an email about how to solve your swing problem.
But I don't want the bill to go with it too.
No, we'll be the prototype people.
They're going to volunteer. I know it. They love the podcast so much and they empathize so much with your story that they're going to volunteer their services.
I mean, the kid's like 150 pounds right now.
Yeah. So I think that's what we're going to run out of ways to keep the weight down if we don't do something.
Because he just loves listening to music and just back and forth.
Also, communication, Zach.
That's a word that you just said.
It is a word that is also a grief and loss too of figuring out how you have to communicate differently, and that connection.
Well, you just go back to remembering what I said to Abby about whatever I said. I don't remember what it was, but apparently that was the
pictures.
Yeah.
We still do pictures.
Yeah, everything's visual.
We have to do pictures. I mean, he can read and write, but he processes quicker and nicer with pictures and humor. I mean, I remember where'd we go? Busch Gardens, and it took 45 minutes for him to get out of the car. So 45 minutes of trying to show him funny, silly pictures to get him calm enough. He was just so anxious and worried about every ride, even though he doesn't even go on rides. But that was a long time. And then even him, like he's been potty trained, but him forgetting he has to go to the bathroom. Like his body doesn't tell him. So I got pictures on my phone that is like a picture of a toilet just to show him. Do you need to go? And you can't ask him, do you need to go to the bathroom? Because he tells you, stop treating me like I'm 5. So I have to show him a toilet. And then he'll be like, maybe.
Think about it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. That sounds fun.
Well, the other thing is too, is you know how much money we have had to spend?
Oh my God.
To attempt to do something and then it can't on the day of, can't happen also. So I do think about that. And we were this was our parenting philosophy even before we had kids. We were going to expose them to different things, blah, blah, blah. We had this, I'm laughing about this one conversation we had about how performative it is looking back of what it was. But I think we were very early on. We're going to go even once a month, even if it's for a night in a hotel somewhere as a family. because that is when everything shuts down and it's just us. So we still do this.
It's like camping for us.
But for him, it was strategic that we wanted him to be able to be flexible in the sense of like not just in one space. And so it was a very intentional and financial decision.
Well,
but
also financial. Like if we go to, say, Universal, we have to buy VIP tickets because we can't wait in lines. It's impossible. And even if they fast pass you, we need it even faster than that. Like his patience and his tolerance for standing, his tolerance for heat, his tolerance for some type of smell.
So you're not actually, it's a little bit of a joke, but it's actually pretty amazing that your love language is in fact accommodation. Like you have to be creative and thoughtful
have to think
and
of
diligent. Yeah.
Even getting him to the theater, you have to think of so many things, like to his play today. And then you have to think of the escape plan. Whose car is quicker? Whose car is closer to the actual theater or to the ice cream shop that we're going after? Or it's too hot. Who has an umbrella? I don't know. It's
and also whilst making it go as smoothly as possible so Rylan doesn't miss out.
Yes, we make that a point to
a priority.
We make sure that she's never in charge of him. She's a sibling. She's gonna have a fun little kid life, and she is not gonna miss out. If he goes home, I go home with him. Oh well, and I'm happy with that. And my doggy's there. And then sometimes Kara will stay, with Rylan, and if it's an amusement park or whatever, or somebody's house. So yeah, sometimes 2 cars or an escape plan.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I think everyone has a lot of work. I will say that, right? Everyone has different degrees.
Yeah.
I think that there is no off, because the off is how are we prepping for tomorrow or like the next thing, which I think that's the other part. We always were communicators before we ever had kids. I don't think we survive any of this without continuing that level of communication.
Yeah. So it's like we said a little bit earlier, like somebody's 8, might be somebody else's 6, might be somebody else's 2 or 4, like everybody's challenged and trying to figure it out. But it reminds me too, like, have the two of you formed a theory or philosophy around generational trauma? Like, as you think about, like, we know it's real, it's come up 3 or 4 times in our talk today, but like, what do you think? Like, what's the I don't want to put too many words in your mouth, but like, what do you think?
So
how are you tackling it, addressing it? Yeah.
Yeah. So I think about this in a lot of ways. Like my growing up, right? My parents got divorced when I was 3, and that was like a very big deal for the time period in the 70s. It just was, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that level of adversity in school was like we were the only. And I think my whole life I've been like the only. In our family, I was the only heavier set person, right? I'm not blonde hair, blue eyes, right? I'm the only lesbian that we know of right now in that immediate cousin group. And I feel like I took on that persona, but I don't know if that was necessarily me. And the reason I say this is when I look back at generational trauma, I think, to be fair, while I was adjacent to everyone else, my mom served as a buffer. So when my mom passed and I was writing like her eulogy, I wasn't sad like everyone else was. I was like celebrating who she was and what she did for us, and recognizing that my mom, even though, we were also the poorest of the group, whatever, single family. And so I feel like in retrospect, looking back at the ways in which my mom buffered us and like was something that I was doing already for my own children and for myself without recognizing it until that moment. And that I was really fortunate.
Your mom was she's an outlier in that group too, like just so full of just kind of love and resilience. Like it was just, everybody, you can sort of complain about everybody, but like, what do you complain about, Jeannie? You're sort of like, no, she loves you and she accommodates you and she takes care. Like,
she's just always there.
She just had boundary issues too, but I mean, it wasn't ever an imposition, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think they got worse through the years, but the boundary issues were to get us what we needed. Like, if I really think about it, like, that's really what it was. She was a survivor. And so I would say the one thing that generational trauma has affected me in that sense was I was really doing okay until I'll call it 2009, 2010, like really downfall of everyone in that spiraled in our family. And it's one of those things now where you have to go back, right? And now you have to go back and look at your entire life through a different lens. Because if you had asked me, I'd been like, I had the greatest childhood, even though all these things, right? But then you're forced to be like, oh, yeah, it wasn't necessarily the same for everyone involved. And also, like, the story you tell yourself. That's what I'm going to name this. The story you tell yourself. Mm-hmm.
That's the title of this episode.
Yeah.
Right on. Stacy, do you have theories about generational trauma?
Well, I was raised by wolves, so I have generational trauma, but I try not to, exert that onto the children.
Yeah.
And then, I think I explained like my parents to Rylan, developmentally like appropriate. Like
I don't know your parents. Are they around? Do your parents?
Yeah, they're alive and kicking.
Okay.
They're normal now. Growing up,
really?
no.
I wouldn't call them normal now.
They're more normal now than they were growing up. So I think with Rylan, I just try to explain events that has happened to talk, like, and explain it to like how an 11-year-old would understand. I don't know, honesty, but yet, keeping it child friendly and still saying, they're good people. They tried their best. Shit happened. And these are the values I believe in. And just go from there.
Do you think tennis was your escape from that?
Yeah.
It was your way out?
I mean, it was, athletics, My sister had academics and athletics. I had athletics and then academics. But yeah. So you grow up and then you gotta you deal with it and then you gotta do better.
I would say we both detoxified. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. And earlier on when we were first dating, I think we had these conversations also about our families and who we are as a result of them in a lot of ways. Yeah,
I don't know, man. I think particularly with regard to my alcoholism and Rebecca's, like, we've been clear about our desire to sort of stop that piece of the generational trauma rolling down, like to kind of give our kids a real clear vision of recovery. But the thing that we're finding is that, like, trauma makes its own rules. Like, it gets to decide what gets passed down and what doesn't get passed down. Like, we might think, oh, we plugged that dam, but then there's like another hole over there that we didn't even think about, And so you do your best and hope that somehow your kids end up better off than you do. So that's our current strategy or plan. Okay, I want to ask you one more question because nobody on the podcast can answer this question. You two are that I've had on before. What can you tell me about my marriage?
I need a little more.
I don't know. She would like a sub question.
What? She would like a follow-up question?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just thinking about how, like, in here, I do all this outbound inquiry into other people's stories and other people's lives and other people's marriages. And nobody knows Rebecca. I mean, they've met her and she's the hero of all my stories on the podcast. But like, when you think about the 25 or so years that you've observed me or us, what would you say? Do you have any insights apart from the fact that I'm a really emotionally intelligent parent as to an infant?
Mm-hmm.
It's okay if you don't. I just wondered if you might have a...
No, I'm going to give it thought, but Stacy's normally one who can like, if she had a thought, it would come out first. So I'm trying to give it to her.
I got no thoughts on this one.
I also am like, Stacy's one of those people that also doesn't take information and leave it there. It's like if there's no reason for her to know anything about it, it's just not there. So I'm also saying that. And my example is Stacy could fall asleep within 3 seconds any day, any time, because she doesn't need to let her brain shut down.
Wow.
She's not retaining all of that and keep thinking and stewing in thoughts. So that's I'm also saying that's probably why she can't answer this question.
That's okay. That's okay. Maybe that's good. Maybe we haven't left an impression, at least not a traumatic one. So that's I'll take that to the bank.
I would say similarly, and maybe not necessarily at the exact moment in times, but I would say that you've all been very transparent about what is happening in the ebbs and flows of your relationships. And I would say I've watched both of you be unhealthy at different times, right? So like one is healthier and then the other is not. And then it's like a roller coaster plus the external stuff.
We used to joke that we had 100% between us. So if I was like 80% healthy, she would be 20% healthy. And vice versa,
Yes. And so I think for most couples, right, that either makes or breaks you on the journey. Because at some point, if there tends to be like a resentment or whatever the case may be, I think you don't survive it, right? So I do think the strength of you both, and we're in very similar professions, so it's also hard to admit at times too, is like you can't feel or rationalize your way out of anything in your relationship, right? Like it's as naked as it could be, literally and figuratively.
I always tell people that I don't have a perfect marriage, but I don't have any excuses either. Like, if I'm gonna screw it up, at least I know that, whatever it is. It's like the plumber who comes home is like, I'm just gonna leave those pipes leaky. Who cares? There's no excuse for that, even if your pipes are leaking. You guys are the coolest. I love talking to you. I'm glad that I heard a rumor that you were interested in coming on the podcast. Stacy, I'm glad that you finally heard the rumor today that was a thing that was happening.
You heard yesterday.
I heard, and I got a text reminder too.
Right on. And cool. Is there anything else you want us to know before we log off? So there's 8 billion people who are sitting here waiting for your wisdom. What is it? What's the party?
Thank you to the engineer.
Yes.
For this tweet.
We'll give you our contact info. No.
Right on.
Wait, I did have one. Ask that question one more time so it spawns it for me. Is there anything else?
Is there anything else you want the world to know about Kara and Stacy, or about marriage, or about parenting, or about just life in general, that before we log off? You got 7 billion people who are listening, and this is your moment. You go.
You asked us for our philosophy, and one of the things that Stacy also teaches teachers too. So one of the things that I think that we share most often in regardless of what we're talking about, so I think it goes to your philosophy also for generational trauma is like, our rule is space and grace and time.
Okay.
So like not all communication has to happen, right? In that, like let people have space and grace. And I think in today's world, I think there's a lot that can amp people up. And I just really hope that people would give us the space, grace, and time as well. And so I kind of want people to give each other that.
Right on. Cool. Okay, Kara and Stacy, thank you so much for coming on Marriage Therapy Radio. I love you both. And I will look forward to seeing you at Ocean City sometime in the future if we can ever find our way
or like there. Philly or wherever.
All right, I want to say thank you to Kara and Stacy for coming on the podcast. Thank you to the rest of our family for tolerating our conversation. I think we name dropped everyone. There's a diverse cast of characters here. I'm grateful to be a part of this family. My family is actually quite small, but Rebecca's is large and expansive, and there's a lot of very cool characters, and we've all been through quite a bit together. So I was grateful to sit down and just kind of think out loud about some of that. Thank you for listening to Marriage Therapy Radio. Thank you for leaving us a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. Thank you for following us on Instagram at Marriage Therapy Radio. And check out my Substack. It is at stuffiwrite.com, or you can just go to Substack and look for me by name. Doing a lot more thinking about things that aren't strictly relationship related. So that's a fun place for me to be. And hope you enjoy the rest of the summer. I think we're officially in the dog days that you get quality time with your family. Hope your family stories are as rich as some of ours. And again, I want to thank you for the time and attention you're putting into making your relationship better today than it was yesterday.